implemented that decision than even I'm aware of. Uh, but as the boomers say, what's in a name? I do regretfully inform you that you are involuntarily involved in my social experiment. This is our 6th online simulation. So that being said, this is an exercise in accountability. So anything that happens from here on out is entirely your fault. It's okay because God and I agree that some of you know what you're doing, but most of you are fucking crazy. So, yeah. No, that wasn't the worst opening I've ever done. Since in this experiment of experience, this is the government foundation of everything. So basically, it's just gonna be my diary of philosophy and bullshit, which is kind of fucking boring, but I guess I have to learn to have the stream of consciousness that makes this entertaining. What was I thinking earlier? Hang on, I'm trying to be consistent in at least putting it out into the universe that I exist. Not super consistent at doing it at the same time, so whatever, the computer's gonna hate me. But if we do the same thing every day, we might accidentally get good at something. And you know what? Bob Ross was right. Sometimes we just need to enjoy the happy accidents. And whatever this is a happy accident, and I'm going to enjoy for all of the fun and excitement that it is. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I was outside and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to try to do the internal dialogue externally, and that's a terrible idea because then we become the thing that you despise. It's like YouTube shows you people that make videos directing you how to do things, and they have no business. That's aggressively wrong. They have no business being in front of a group of people trying to talk. Probably the smartest people in the world, and put them in an environment where they belong, probably teaching whatever it is that they're teaching. They're phenomenal, but then you put them in front of a camera and it's just like, no, you should not talk. And it's tough to think that way when you watch something and then find yourself in the situation where you're doing it. And it's like, uh, have a newfound appreciation for those people who do that, because it is nerve-wracking to try to take your internal creation and share it with the world, right? This is my point of view, no matter how terrible it, probably most of those people, and I don't have examples. I would never, why would you give an example of that? you're bad, so let me tell everybody how bad you are. And they're not bad. It's just so interesting. Um, but like it's real easy to turn into a boat without a rudder and just kind of like fly off the handle. And I guess if you wrote something down and try to go with a plan, you might have that, but I don't know what my plan is. Like my plan is to say to the world, "Hey world, do you want to fix yourself? Cool. I have an idea who wants to try it." And that's absurd. Like you're but it sounds like it's like why not? So if you're that person who is saying, "Hey world, do you want to fix yourself?" If so, I have a plan. Who wants to try? Like where do you start with that? You know, that's start with one step, right? That's the that's the motivational t-shirt or poster that people have. Every journey starts with one step. But like these steps aren't going anywhere. It's and it's weird because that's okay with me, right? Like that's the weird part about it is everything that I'm doing is is uh is really not going anywhere. What is it? The Malcolm Gladwell? Did he write the book? 10,000 hours. I don't know if that's 10,000 hours thing or I read a couple of his books. 10,000 hours and then like the one about Bill Gates being close to like a server farm and hockey players' birthdays in January because they get better stuff. I don't remember what it is, or if it's just like a fucking one of those motivational speeches where the guy's digging in the tunnel and you can see like where he's trying to dig the tunnel to, and there's only like that much space left. And then it's like the guy turns around and the poster's like, you never know if you just keep going. Like, but when you don't have like my intention, not my intention, but like I don't like to say goals because I don't really have a goal, right? Like it's not a goal to like what does that mean? I sound like a fucking a really horrible a really horrible beauty pageant person. It's like I want to save the world peace. Like what does that even mean? But I don't want to save the world. Like that's kind of like Tao Te Chi says like I don't remember what the verse is or what the exact words are, but it's like I feel sorry for the person who thinks that they can save the world because it doesn't need saving, right? Kind of goes back to the oh I forgot that in the opening. Fuck the everything that happens to you. So if you're having a bad time, it's because you made bad choices. So make good choices. Make good choices. Um, so yeah, it goes back to the if you're having a bad day, make better choices thing. Like you get to choose. Oh, I know what I'm talking about here. Fuck, lost it. Damn, son of a bitch. Um, fuck, fuck, fuck. Whatever. I did have this conversation. Like this conversation was entertaining, and posted it. I don't know. I posted. I posted. Like literally, I was sitting outside this morning. Like I have a joke where like everyone's like, I'm out of shape and I'm fat. Like I'm definitely in the phase four fondle phase of life where I'm just kind of like trying to figure out if I'm like literally just waiting for the universe to say, fuck it, you're done. Because I've lived a pretty good life and I don't really want to, I really don't need to or want to create and nurture anything for me anymore. Which puts me in this limbo state where like I don't want to do anything that takes away from somebody else's experience. So like when you say that to people, they automatically think that you're suicidal or whatever. And like I'm not suicidal, just like ready. And I think that this is where like the midlife crisis comes in because you think you want to like grasp at straws and do stuff, and most people get to this point in their life and they're not. Like I say phase four, so like there's four phases to life, and you go through this like three times, and the third time is usually in your 40s, right? So for like the first 5 years, you go through your first three. You got your fuck it phase where you're kind of like everything that comes in, you just say fuck it and you try to push it out. Like that's being an infant. And then you get to the fuck it phase where you just start saying no to everything. Um, so its first fuck it phase is like internal, and then the next fuck it phase is when you turn two and just saying no to everything. Um, and then you go into the find it phase. You also have the fuck it phase. You hit another fuck it phase. Puberty is another fuck it phase where you start trying to create things. Let's back that up. We'll get through explaining this once. I do like this analogy. I'd like to make this a bit. Uh, this is a bit that I'd like to do. Like this is something I think is hilarious, and we should tell people. But like there's the four phases of life. Uh, Everything has four phases. Like there's solid, gas, liquid, and then there's the phase in between all and outside of all of those things. So there's the four phases of like matter, I think. Yeah, maybe. Not sure. Um, Probably wrong. Anyway, but I think that's what we're going with. So the four phases of life. You have your fuck it phase. This is the first phase. When you're a baby, you basically anything you put in. I'm not a parent, so I don't know any of this. This is just from my observations. But the first part of life, the you that just knows how to be goes through the first fuck it phase. So anything you put in, it's coming out. So you're either putting it in, it's shitting it out, or just putting it in, or puking it out, or just putting it in, is peeing it out. Like that's how like in out. Fuck it. In fuck it. Don't need it. Not internalizing it. Just fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. You also have another fuck it phase, very prominent fuck it phase. They call it the terrible twos. This is where the kid says no to everything, which is basically just another way to say fuck it. You hit another fuck it phase, your third and usually final, your third fuck it phase. Um, this is a phase that you usually repeat the third fuck it phase more than once. No, just stay there. So the third fucking phase, and this is when you start wanting to create things. So the first one is to the first one is just infancy. The second one is because you're destroying everything. No, I don't want to do any of that because I'm trying to destroy all of the things. And then the third fucking phase is you trying to something to fuck because you want to create something. And then this is where yeah, and then you have a find it phase. Um, See it in my mind. I like you have a find it. You have all these phases, and it's animated in my mind. I guess I should just do it, dude. You'd say you're performing. This is your performance. This is Simple Sean performing his tinfoil hat time, right? Like, it's the third, like, it's interesting, right? There's layers to the shit player. Uh, so it's interesting when you think about yourself, like the I want to say it and the ego, and I don't know, but there's actually three. Like everyone says, there's two of you. Like there's two of you battling, but there's really three of you that are constantly holding everybody in. There is that you, the unapologetic yin yang version of yourself, part that knows uh, is everything about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the perverted, the shameful, the knows all of the dirt and how bad all of the dirt really is. The core you, the real you, the you that when you're really high by yourself, that one that you talk to in your head, the one uh, that one that sometimes is like the biker, tattoo biker dude, um, rock star. Sometimes is all of the things, plays all of the characters that you see that you know exist, like has all of those versions of you, and you get to visit with them. Like that's the middle you. That's the fuck of you. Like that one knows what is and isn't. Um, there's no hesitation or confusion. May not be any good reasons for the why we're fucking it, but it is done with conviction. That's for sure. Um, and then the second level of you is the one that involves what you want to show. Like this is your filter. This is your atmosphere. Um, this is what takes in the sun and what passes through there, and then what reflects it back to the sun, and what allows it to just pass through and go through us, go through you, and then out into the universe, right? Like that's because that's the three things that you're doing. Like most of it, 40, half of what you experience, you reject, right? Like half, I mean, it's probably more than half to be honest with you, but just like if you look at it like a large portion, probably 80%. Yeah, probably 80% of your experience you reject. If you think about it, like that's wild. Like how much of the sun do we reflect back to the sun? Like of the light that's hitting Earth? That's a great question. Let's ask the AI. How much of the sun's light does the Earth reflect back to the sun? Thinking Earth reflects about 30% of the incoming sunlight from the sun back into space. The value is known as the Earth average. Why are you gonna name it after a person? Why can't you just fucking name shit for what it does? When is reality going to have? There's a fucking question. When is society and the experience going to redo its naming convention we need to know what the function does without. I think that's funny. I don't think anybody's going to get it, but like, I'm not a computer programmer, but like in computer programming, if you make a function, you're supposed to like, in the name of the function, it's supposed to tell you what it does, right? Like, get name, so it's like name getter or like shit like that. It's like literally the name of the function, so you had to have you could like click on it and be like, ah, that's what it does. But like here, this is called the fucking albedo. What the fuck does that mean, man? It's like or bond. Like, what is this word? What does that fucking mean? Is it like, ah, fuck, is this apple? Ah, well, measures the fraction of solar radiation reflected by the planet as whole, including its atmosphere, cloud, and the ocean sources. Typically cite an approximate 20.29 or 0.31, so 31%. Absorbed high energy warms the surface atmosphere. So we take 70, so 30 goes back. How much passes through? All right, okay. How much of the sun energy / light is passed on into space away from the sun. This is a nice little fucking planetary lesson. Again, virtually 99.95% of the Earth's total energy output passes into space without ever reaching that. No, fucker. That's not what I wanted. I know that. Like 99% of the bugs don't hit your windshield, kids. Meant the sun, like the 70% of sunlight not reflected back to the sun. How much of it continues through after passing through the Earth? Yeah, yeah. Uh, that is not reflected continues through the Earth and out the other side. Virtually none, effectively 0%. Wow. It's all absorbed. That doesn't seem true. Actually happens to the absorbed long wavelengths infraradiation, thermal heat, the surface of the atmosphere, infrared maintains Earth energy balance, incoming absorbs energy, outgoing radiates energy over time. Okay, well, that's cool. Doesn't make it seem like that maybe we should start using the energy. That's what we're fucking here for, to like keep it. Because now maybe the Earth has got too much. Earth is a fucking giant. What is it called? Spinning mass that holds energy. Flywheel. What if the Earth is just flywheel. And we are supposed to be bleeding off more energy to keep the rotation stable. It does store enormous rotational kinetic energy spinning about the Earth once per day, but it's not a perfect flywheel. Nature's process of already bleeding off energy and human active plays a negligible role in stabilizing it. I mean, fuck. The Earth's rotational kinetic energy is roughly 2.1 to 2.6 to 10 to the 29 joules, depending on the exact moment of inertia used. Real Earth is denser at the core, so closer to, what the fuck, is an immense amount of equivalent to total energy consumption for millions of years. The planet isn't losing this energy rapidly. The main natural bleed off is tidal friction caused by the moon. I think we're gonna fucking rant about this. This is today's rant, I think. Where are we at in the grand scheme of things? 26 minutes, 27 minutes. Somebody's had to said this before. Somebody's had to, right? What if Earth is a giant flywheel for the sun? 27 minutes. It's all right. So this will cut this. All right. So I don't know how I got on the topic, but like the question I just had is like, what if the Earth is a giant flywheel? Like if you think about it, all electricity is the transfer of heat, right? Well, maybe not. I don't know. Electricity's weird. Electricity's like light. Who the fuck knows? But like, temperature is just heat, right? Heat is just energy. So heat is simply just energy that's trying to get transferred, right? So the sun hits the Earth absorbs all of the energy. Like, what if the reason why like animals end up existing is because we realize that we need to balance the energy to maintain the uh balance of the energy. Like think about watching a propeller spin. Like if you watch a propeller spin, it goes this way. But then if it goes fast enough, it starts going the opposite way. And then if it goes even faster that way, it disappears. Right? So what if we're supposed to be using the energy so like the poles don't flip? There's we're going on a wild fucking ride today, boys. Right? So like somebody's, I don't know, I heard it somewhere on the internet, so it has to be true, I think. Or maybe on, yeah, probably somewhere on the internet. So like I don't have any proof, but I do think there's like I think it could be real. I don't. I'm not gonna like bet my life on the fact that the North and South Pole can just like randomly flip at some time. Um, but it sounds like you see it in different spots. Like when you spin a top, it appears to spin one way and then it starts to wobble and then it hits the ground and it goes one way and it looks like it goes the other. Like you see that shit all the time. So like totally could be done, but like if you properly manage the energy that you put into that, like if you spin it and then when it starts to wobble, you spin it again, like you don't ever get to that point where it like randomly reverses. And I think that's why it's been like they think they have documentation saying that like this is This happens every like 180,000 million years or some fucking number. I don't know, making that up. Um, but it like skipped an iteration. Um, so it could be part of a pattern, or maybe 250,000 years ago, the Younger Dryas wasn't an impact, but it was uh, an exit event gone wrong. Um, so yeah, let's make shit up. Let's make shit up from things that you know nothing about and tell a cool story. Um, this is my Genesis story, or the flood story. This is my version of the flood story. So here's what I think happened. I think society had evolved to the point at which we were that society that I said where we're keeping equilibrium. We're able to understand that what's really important is maintaining the Earth rotation on its on whatever its true axis is. And that's we keep asking ourselves why we're obsessed with stars, and they were obsessed with astronomy. um, and we think that it's because of we think it's because they were trying to save themselves. I think they were just trying to reference. They understood astronomy. I don't know. We'll get to that. But the reason why they were so obsessed with the stars and well mapping everything is because they understood um, that they needed to maintain the same angle to keep the energy balance working, right? Like, it's whatever you want to say, that when everything flows in balance and finds an equilibrium, then uh, things progress faster, right? So they achieve this. They're able to do all of these great things, and like in doing that, the Earth cools differently. I don't fucking know. Let's whatever it does it differently than what it's doing right now. Like if you line it up, it's the the positive charge is going to go to one end of the earth and the negative charge is going to go to the other end of the earth, right? Like, isn't that how how magnets work? Like, if you put a magnet here and put a magnet here, and I put and line them up like they're going to connect to each other, then all of if they're able to feel themselves, if the energy is able to be detected over time, the poles will the charges will migrate to that end. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that that's how it works. And fucking, I don't care if you tell me differently, because we are always wrong. And this is more than definitely probably wrong. And whatever you think is wrong about it is also probably wrong. So fucking just run with it. So yes, like if we get the thing pointed in the right direction where it's not wobbling and fucking messing up the rotation, like all of the cold is going to go towards the North Pole. We get, I guess. I mean, in this analogy, if that's how it works, like you have all of the cold going there, and then you have all of the warm on the South Pole. So that's where you get like Antarctica's got all this weird shit down there, and there's a pyramid down there, and there probably is, and the pyramid is actually so pyramids are are I don't know this, so I'm only guessing this because of what because I've designed like a power source that's all sun. Like you take the sun, you heat up something. Salt apparently is really good. High temperature thermal mass that you can use. There's probably somebody else who's got really smart shit out there that would know what it is. But like if you get a focal mirror, I don't remember what they're called, but like the solar trough where you can run it through the middle, or the satellite dish with it focused in one area. Like, however, just use the sun to warm it up, and it could be done with mirrors. Like, you could build that fucking burn ant things, the eye that they have in like all of the Lord of the Rings movies is probably not really an eye. It might be an eye, but it might like the eye is just like the reflecting of the sun, and like that's how you burn things, right? Like that would be my guess to what, like, if it actually go back in time, like I feel like they made those things, um, because they just used heat. I think they had electricity too, and they made it this way because like you wouldn't leave it, there wouldn't be any left behind, from like the the making of it this way because you've integrated everything. I mean, so you heat up whatever it is, and you put that heat into a solar bat a heat battery, and these are out there. There's a company that makes a bunch of them now, and they like right by a house or whatever. But I don't know how like the heat transfers or whatever. But if you can store the heat, and then you can put the heat into um, the old refrigerator mechanism. I think it's like absorption, and then so that's going to create a really really cold side, and you're going to have a hot side, and that cold side you could use to cool anything. So you could cool, you basically have a big huge, you would be making a big huge air, like hot air side, cold air side for heating and cooling, but you'd also be using it for energy. So like there, you put it built the right way next to a house, you don't have to pay for air conditioning, you don't have to pay for heating anymore, because like we're making it with sunlight, and if you're not making it with sunlight, you can burn something. Like let's not pretend that like wood and gas are going to be a thing, but not going to need as much of it by a long shot. Um, so you have this really cold side and a really hot side. So then you can make a Stirling engine, which is takes into account positive and like hot and cold air and moving back and forth. Don't really know all of the mechanics of it, but I know it works. So if you make that little loop, you have the sun heating aside this old school refrigerator compressor that hasn't been used and wasn't dialed in, and they said it was very inefficient, and it probably was in 1938 or whatever when they invented it or were using it, and when Freon took it over and nobody stopped using it because Freon was the way to go, and it was more effective at the time because the Freon was more effective. We didn't really optimize the system. So if we optimize the system, I think it works pretty much okay and good enough. Um, like opening the door and closing the door and having to recover from that. Is that a problem? If it is a problem with food spoiling, I think food is in your refrigerator for too long. So that's a problem. It's not a problem for the fridge. It's a problem for your lifestyle. And I can hear voices saying, well, like we build our homes for our lifestyles. And I'm like, I think, I don't know, I don't necessarily agree. Like we do certainly build them now, but that's not the right way to build a home. You build a home to be functional, so that part of your life is taken care of, so you can develop a style for your life. I think like fixing that problem is, I agree with that the homes are designed wrong, and that we live our lives, we you go to the grocery store and you buy food for a week, 2 weeks. I mean, probably not anymore because you can't afford groceries or whatever, but like people have like fucking BJ's cards and Sam's Club cards and Costco cards, and they go and buy all of this shit. Like, that's the first problem. Like, these should not be the way. This should not be the way that you do it. Um, so if you take away that, the only thing that you should have in your fridge should be uh, like a a daily portion serving. Like, how much milk do you use in a day or two? Like, why don't we go back to what was? Why don't we go back to, other than sleeping with your wife? why don't we go back to uh, having milkmen, like delivering like your daily allotment of perishables? I mean, first of all, I don't think houses should have kitchens. Like nobody fucking cooks anymore. Most people have, and do I think people will cook? I think they will, but I don't like it. Like fuck it. Like if you're cooking for your family of four, it's easier to cook for more people than it is to cook for one family. It's one person, right? Like if you're one person and like I'm a sink looking for sinks, so we don't to build a sink so we don't sink here, right? So if that's what we're going after, like sinks need parents. We need adult supervision. So um yeah, so like if you think about it that way, like one of us or some of us are going to have to be cooks, and if you're going to cook, why don't you cook for everybody or cook for a portion of it? Like like you divide, if you divide housing up into like four houses and like somebody has to cook for those four houses, then you only have one big kitchen for four houses. Like that's stupid. Is it? Like there's an entire fucking industry for delivering fast food to your house. Like what if we flip the industry to where there is a restaurant within either your neighborhood or within your HOA or in your town, like all of your HOAs, that just makes food whenever you want to and brings it to you, right? Like why don't we do that? And I hear answers and whatever, and like we do, we don't, like we don't do any of this stuff, and that's the problem. It's like somebody else does. We're too far away from the the value. There's too many people thinking that they provide value to something that we don't value, and that's what we're trying to do is cut out the middleman. God, this is so fucking random. Um, I don't know. I'll say something smart. Somebody will see it. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But no, I think this is good enough for today. We're still working out the kinks here, people. I'm really trying to figure out what this is. I really am. I think. I think now that I know what this is, and it's just going to be me rambling. So like the idea that it's ever going to be like a stand-up thing, like we're gonna have to work through some shit. I think that's where the beauty of the experience is, right? Like the jokes are going to be when this happens, it's going to be uh like the tour is like a reunion where you just go and we'll walk down memory lane, like remember when that happened, and just tell the story and relive it together. So this is making all of those stories, I think. Um, or it's just gonna make me bored, and I'm just gonna fucking go away like 99% of people who think this is a good idea. Um, I don't think this is a good idea. I think this is a terrible idea. Um, but I have the time to do it. And one of the things that I think is true is like sometimes if you don't have an answer to the question, the answer is the absurd solution, right? The saying that I have is like reality is just the observer observing problems that they don't have and or are not willing to process this solution for. Um, so if you don't have a solution, because there are realities that you're just like I don't have a solution. Um, if you don't have a solution, then what's the most absurd way you can achieve that problem? Whatever most absurd way to do it. It's like, what are you observing? Like, what to do with my life? I don't know. What's the most absurd way you could spend your life? And for me, the most absurd thing that I could do to spend my life is to I don't know even how to explain that. Most absurd way is the most absurd way to live my life is to live my life in a way that it makes it so everybody else can say they're living the dream and mean it. Because that's the joke. When you get in my car, I say living the dream, and everyone's like, "Oh, I say that all the time, jokingly." I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And then I say what I do, and then they're like, "Oh, you really are living the dream," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I kind of am." So that's what I think is the most absurd way to live my life, and I'm like, how do you then, once you do that, you have to think about, well, what's the most absurd way to do that? And what's the most absurd way to make it so people can live their life is to change, like to build a place where they can do it. Like everybody has the opportunity to like do what I do. And what I do is work for society very minimally, but work with my people as needed, I guess is the term that we'll use. Um, and that's what I'm trying to build. But I wasn't going to do this today. I got stoned and thought that was a good idea. Anything that you learn from can't be a bad idea. So I learned some things, like how headphones and earphones work. It's always fun. Hopefully, oh, I did find this thing. I'll share this with everybody. I found this thing, like there's an analytics thing here, and it tells you like how your shit does. And like the day before yesterday, 12 viewers, so fucking A. We got the highest viewership ever. Thursday on June 18th with 12. Woohoo! And then yesterday, like they have minutes viewed here, and we got to 87, which is like by far the best. But we only have 8 viewers, so I'm not really sure why we're keeping score or what we're keeping score of. But hey, the numbers are getting bigger, and I don't think this game is golf, so I think we want the numbers to get bigger. So thank you for whoever's doing that. Appreciate you. As we say every time we get off of this, there is no action without reaction. So react promptly, react with purpose, and if possible, react politely. Till next time.